Wargram is one of the characters in Elden Ring who was in all the advertisements of this game. However, he is not paid much attention to in the game and we get very little information about him. But many people actually know him as he was one of the Tarnished to come to the lands between after the shattering. That he strived to become a shadow of an Empyrean and he was friend with the sorcerer Wilhelm. But something led them to come into conflict with one another. An interesting detail is that he wields the Godslayer Greatsword, the weapon of an Empyrean called the Gloam-Eyed Queen. This could imply that he wanted to become her shadow, although the timeline is super muddy, because the Gloam-Eyed Queen was defeated long before the Tarnished arrived. So there are several problems here. Whether Vargram's goal was to become a shadow for Gloam-Eyed Queen, or someone else. His armor says he was one of the first Tarnished to visit the Round Table Hold. Moreover, it also states wolves are the shadow of the Empyrean, and this is what Wargram aspired to be. I'd speculate that Wargram wanted to become Gideon's shadow. Gideon is chosen by Two Fingers as an Empyrean. Since Malikov is Marika's shadow and he controls Div, Wargram would want to imitate that by wielding the Godslayer Greatsword. The name also fits, seeing Gaiden and Wargram would have to slay the demigods to rise to power. Lastly, the Black Flames are symbolic of distant Div, which they'd need to release. About his confrontation with Wilhelm. Wilhelm would have been a threat to the Greater Will, since he was in contact with the primeval current. He likely would have made an attempt to bring about the Age of Stars. They'd be at conflict because the Greater Will represents order through its outer influence, and the Age of Stars represents freedom from outside influence. One could also make an argument that since the Greater Will sent a star to the lands between, that become the Elden Ring, it would be pretty pissed if you started looking at the other stars than the one currently in your home. Another point about Wargram is that maybe he just wanted to dress like a shadow, just like what Radon did, because Radon wore lion armor to look like Godfrey and his father. I mean, if you look at the armor itself, specifically the gauntlets, there's white fur sticking out from under the layers of plate. If you have seen Zuli's unmasking NPC's video, we know Wargram has the emo dark brown hair and not white. It's just me who didn't like his face. So did he just kill a bunch of wolves to look more the part? Or was not from expecting us to see his face at all, making Wargram the NPC simply a mannequin for the raging armor? But I think it goes behind just dressing like them. Radon was captivated by Godfrey, but he did more than just dress like him, and he also acted accordingly. Godfrey is called the Lord of the Battlefield. In Radon's chest armor description, Radon became a conqueror and was known for being among the strongest of the demigods, therefore arguably a Lord of the Battlefields, or at least something close or similar. Radon was more than just talk. He actually did what he aspired to be. They also use the word aspired for Wargram, what is defined as directing one's hopes and ambition towards achieving something. Obviously, that's left to interpretation and can be interpreted many different ways, but in my opinion, that implies that Wargram was actively trying to model himself and his behavior after the shadows. Again, this doesn't mean that he actually ever obtained a master, but I think he did more than just dress like a shadow. But it could also be true that Wargram really wanted to become Gloam-Eyed Queen shadow, because this person could still be alive, or the same theory that says that Melania is actually the same Gloam-Eyed Queen. It doesn't reference her being sibling to anyone in the game, and in the files, she's called daughter of Marika, but that could mean many things. The age before the Golden Order was simply called the Age of the Earth Tree, not the Age of the Crucible. The Age of the Crucible took place before Marika's rise to godhood, and the star bearing the golden beast arriving in the lands between. A time when dragons ruled the lands and Dragon Lord Placidusax ruled the roost. The Age of the Earth Tree was a time when Godfrey defeated the Storm King at the Stormvale Castle, defeated the leader of the giants to quell their flame. This is when the Gloam-Eyed Queen was in direct competition with Marika for throne, as she also had the ability to slay gods with the black flames she possessed. She was also Empyrean and was selected by the Fingers. Judging by the Blade of Calling, she was also Noman, just like Marika. The Golden Order took place after the Rune of Death was sealed within Malika. Without the rune being sealed, there couldn't be Golden Order. There is surprisingly insane amount of lore that points that Melania being the Gloam-Eyed Queen. She is wondering what is to be a mother or to have a mother in dialogue. Her eyes is sealed with Grang's Mark of the Beast. likely when the rune of death was sealed. Grang then possessed the Eye of the Beast, which matches Melania's sealed eye color and markings over her sealed eyes, which she eventually gave that to you in exchange for Death Fruit. She has the gloam-colored eye during her promise to deliver distant death during the Flame of Frenzy ending. Melania also shows compassion and love for birth in dialogue related to the 3 fingers. I would say it's more likely than not she is or was in fact the Gloam-Eyed Queen and lost her purpose when her rune was sealed. It's also possible she was burned with the black flames as repentance. Keep in mind, if that took place after the rune of death was sealed, it's possible she couldn't be killed in both body and spirit by the flame, possibly because she was a demigod and also Empyrean, and the flame had lost its God-Slaying abilities upon concealment. This left her coincidentally without purpose and burned and bodiless. She could easily be Marika's first daughter before Marika became the vassal of the Elden Ring. If Marika was born of a single god, she easily could have created Melania the same way. They could have both been selected as candidates for the Elden Ring. Obviously, we know now that Marika gained the upper hand. And thank you for watching till the end, and may the flames guide thee.